Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard Sandia Peak Tramway. My name is David. I'll be your conductor for the flight up the mountain. We are leaving an elevation of 6,559 feet. And over the next 14 minutes, we'll travel 2.7 miles east, almost 4,000 feet up, bringing us to an elevation of 10,378 feet above sea level. I will be pointing out some features of the mountain and the tram during our journey. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask. I'll be sure to make something up for you. Otherwise, enjoy the views and enjoy the ride.
Over where Richard is.
Sandia Peak Tramway was completed in 1966 after approximately $2 million, 24 months, and 5,000 helicopter flights. We will cross 2 towers during our journey, and the second tower was built completely using helicopter flights, as there are no roads, no power lines, nothing at all headed up there, except us. Now, running along the left side of the cabin is what appears to be a hiking trail. That is a hiking trail now. However, 48 years ago, it was the service road we used to build the tower we're coming to. This tower is the first of our towers. That's why we call it Tower 1. And as we cross it, there will be a slight swing. Ooh. I said slight, don't freak out. I was lying, but you know whatever. Now, if you take a look out the right-hand side of the cabin, the side opposite myself, you'll notice a pyramid of rocks with a small boulder on top. We call that golf ball rock. And to give you some perspective, that little boulder is roughly twice the size of our cabin. Oh, wow. Now, if you take a look at the left-hand side, or behind me, you'll see another pile of rocks, another boulder on top. We call this one Cannon Rock for obvious reasons. And it is about the size of our cabin. Now, my favorite rock on the entire mountain is coming up on the right. You'll see a flat-faced, vertically standing rock. With some imagination, you'll notice a fin on the side and a mouth on the front. Looks kind of like a fish. We call that fish rock. Don't worry, it moves very slowly. You can catch it on the way down. Now, these rocks I've been pointing out to you, as well as most of the mountain, are made up of granite. That granite is roughly 1.4 billion years old. It was originally liquid magma. However, as it cooled, it collected all sorts of other stuff like mica, gray feldspar, quartz, pink feldspar. And that combination of extra stuff gives off a beautiful red-pink glow right around sunset. Makes the entire mountain look like a big old chunk of watermelon. Lending to the name Sandia, meaning watermelon in Spanish. Though it doesn't taste very good. Now there's a wide variety of animal life here on the mountain. We have a large population of mule deer, as well as some bobcats, mountain lions, coyotes, about a half dozen black bears. Up at the top, we keep all the cute stuff, like squirrels, chipmunks, and turkeys. Roaming the skies, we have peregrine falcon, red-tailed hawks, golden eagles, and the ugliest bird you will ever lay eyes on, the turkey vulture. Now we are coming up on the second of our two towers. As we cross it, there will once again be a slight swing. Directly ahead of us and slightly above us is a formation of rocks that looks kind of like a person sitting there on the mountain. Should be visible now. We call that little fella Elvis, King of Rock.
Tour guide last time.
Oh my gosh, oh gosh, this is scary.
Oh my God, I remember this party. Not a hate person.
This is cute.
Now, coming up slightly ahead of us to the left is our sister car, cabin number 1. And though they appear to be moving much more quickly than we are, they are moving at exactly the same speed because we're all attached to the same drive cable. That also means that we've just passed the halfway point. Now, because we're all attached to the same cable, as they slow down across the tower, we slow down as well. Now, this is a great time to look down. I, of course, mean out there, not in here. Okay, it's a great time for some of us to look down. This is our highest point from the ground during our journey. We are roughly 1,000 feet from the bottom of the canyon, or just shy of the height of the Empire State Building. Once everybody gets up top, now because it is right around lunchtime, you should keep an eye out for Albert. He is our resident black squirrel. He is absolutely fearless, doesn't mind people whatsoever. And if you have food, you suddenly become his best friend. He will eat absolutely anything you give him, including your fingers. We have just entered Echo Canyon, and while a majority of the mountain requires rainfall and snow to maintain the water supply, Echo Canyon has its own naturally occurring spring. And that spring is the reason for those little bitty trees down there reaching 100 feet on average. Some of them reaching as tall as 130 feet. Now, however, the other side is covered in a layer of limestone, which was deposited roughly 300 million years ago by the Pennsylvania Sea, as that side of the mountain was a seabed back then. Now that means while you're up top walking the trails, it is not unusual to find seashells 2 miles above the sea in the middle of a desert. Now, if you take a look at this outcropping here on the left, you'll see what almost looks like a level point that is called Ego Boost. And every year, hundreds of climbers will climb to that point and have their picture taken by the people on the trail. I believe it's called Ego Boost because they're being famous and not looking down. Now, once again, out the left side, at the very highest point you can see, atop that slanted white peak, you'll notice what almost appears to be a house made of stone. In fact, that is a house made of stone. That is Kiwanis Cabin, built by the Civilian Conservation Corps in 1936, from the very limestone that it sits on. If you're still having trouble finding it, you laugh, but it seems to help.
Wow. I couldn't find it.
It should be toward the back of the cabin.
That's down there.
Now, if anybody wants a closer look at the cabin, there is a trail leading from the upper terminal. It's about an hour and a half round trip. A fairly easy hike. Pretty hard to get lost on. However, if you do catch yourself on the La Luz Trail, turn around immediately. That's a 10.5-mile trip. Takes a little bit longer than most of you have planned, I'm sure. Now, as we come to the top of the trail, we are approaching the Forestry Service's Four Seasons Visitor Center. They have provided restrooms, water fountain, information on the mountain, tram, animals, forest, stuff like that. To the north, or that way, are the Boardwalk and High Finance Restaurant. Further north from there are the heads of those trails I was mentioning. If you venture to the east face, you will find our ski area, currently covered in lots of beautifully green grass. It is a nice 45-minute hike to the bottom of the lift, though once you get down there, you can take the chairlift on back up and relax the whole way. We are running cabins back down the mountain every 15 to 20 minutes until 10 o'clock tonight, so please don't feel rushed. No, you do have to leave today. It's kind of a rule.
I'm usually fine. I love to hike and for 14 years, really good hike. It's different when you're on the ground, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I like hiking really high, but
We did bungee
and
jump.
scrambling.
We made a jump in.
Yeah,
In
that
Ecuador.
was so scary.
Let's take this together. Oh my gosh.
I was like, I can't do it, so I just jumped and I
like,
like
you
pulled
are
her down.
Now, as we pull into dock, there may be a couple of bumps either side of the cabin. I promise you, we have not hit an iceberg.
On the ground.
On the left side here.
Even getting closer. There it is.
Now, there will be another slight bump in just a moment in the front. This one should be a little less severe. As the cabin comes to a full and complete stop, we won't let you off. The cabin we passed halfway is not yet in dock. So, once these big red wheels over my shoulder quit turning, then my friend Grant will let everybody out through the doors opposite myself. In the meantime, welcome to 10,378 feet above sea level. I hope you've enjoyed your trip up the mountain, but more importantly, I hope you enjoy your stay at the top just as much. And when you're done, we'll see you back at the bottom.